guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dom, and if you haven't been here before, I have a 2004 Nissan 350Z sitting behind me. This week, we are going to be replacing the valve covers. This is a huge job. These valve covers are made of plastic and tend to break over a period of time. Usually about 100,000 miles is when your Z will need new valve covers, or at least valve cover gaskets. Unfortunately, mine did go out, and I did find oil in 3 out of the 6 of my spark plug tubes. That's why we're going to be replacing it this week. Now, I've never done this before, and I definitely don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to make sure to link the videos that I use as an example in the description below, so that way if you need to do this job, you can follow along with them. There's tons of great videos on YouTube showing step-by-step process of exactly how to do this job. So instead of me just standing around here talking, let's look at the parts that I ordered from Z1 Motorsports for this job. So you're looking at about $1,000 worth of parts right here. This is definitely overkill. You do not need to order this many parts to do this job. The only things you really need to order are the valve cover gaskets and then possibly the valve covers themselves. I wanted to do some preventative maintenance, so I decided to order a lot more stuff. All of this stuff I ordered from Z1 Motorsports, and I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below to Z1 Motorsports so that you can order these parts if you need them. The valve covers themselves were $440, and that also included the valve cover gaskets. The spark plugs were $67.53. These are the one step colder, just like I did last time with my other spark plug installation video. I decided to just get brand new spark plugs because I'm assuming my old ones already have oil on them. I don't want to risk it. I'd rather just replace them. I also ordered a new upper plenum gasket as well as a lower to middle plenum gasket. The lower to middle plenum gasket was $20 and then the upper was $31. Another upgrade that I wanted to do was to replace my PCV hoses. Z1 Motorsports had this whole pack of 3 for $48, and it was a lot cheaper than just buying the single one that I needed. And the last thing that I got was this set of high ignition coil packs. These were $350 on sale, so that's why I decided just to pick them up while I'm doing this job. The other things you'll need are gonna be masking tape to mark all of your bolts, plastic bags to separate them all, Gasket Maker, which I got from Walmart, then an inch-pound torque wrench that I got from Amazon for about $45. So I'm just gonna put the camera down and let it roll while I'm working on this. I'll probably cut out a lot of these parts, but let's go ahead and get started on this. All right, now that I'm at this point, there are 18 10mm bolts that you need to remove from the top of the plenum. It's super important that you remove it in this certain sequence. It's described in the video that I'm linking below. You can also find it in the Haynes manual for the 350Z. I'm just gonna mark each bolt with some tape and a Sharpie to number them. Then I'm gonna organize them into baggies and label the baggies so I know which one goes where. So we're gonna start with bolt 18 and work our way backwards all the way until the first bolt. I'll make sure to put up the diagram that shows the correct sequence of how you're supposed to remove these bolts. right, the upper plenum's off. I also plugged the coolant hoses just with a bumper attachment. The next step is going to be removing the wiring harness and then also removing the middle to lower plenum along with the upper plenum gasket. First, we are going to take out these bolts that are holding in the wiring harness all the way around, and then we're going to work on these 10mm bolts that are also done in a series just like the upper plenum. So this is bolt number 6, this is 5, this is 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so I just took off the lower plenum and that exposes these ports, which I do want to cover with something. I'm probably just going to cover it with a piece of cardboard, and then I'm going to tape it down on there like that, just so that nothing falls into it. All right, so the next step, once you have everything off, is to remove this part of the wiring harness just so that you can get the valve covers off on both sides a little bit easier. So there is gonna be a few clips that you'll have to undo around each part, which you'll be able to see where they go because they feed directly into where they're supposed to clip onto. The main thing that is described in the video is that there's gonna be a clip back here that's attached to a sensor that's gonna be a little bit difficult to take off. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that off. I'm also gonna get off the other one that's a gray and green clip that's back here. Once I do that, then I'll be able to loosen up this whole side of the wiring harness and get the valve covers out. All right, so I got the wiring harness removed. It's just sitting over here, and that gives me so much more space underneath to get off the valve covers on this side. I also got it loosened up enough on this side so that it allows me a little bit more space, but it is a little bit tighter on this side than it is on the right. The right is obviously more wide open. Next is gonna be removing the coil packs on each side, and then finally removing the valve covers. Okay, now that all of this is clean, we're gonna put some Gasket Maker on our valve cover gasket and in the corners of the head there, just a little bit, not too much. Then we're gonna put some Gasket Maker around the corners on the inside just to hold it in place while we're trying to put the valve cover back on. All right, the first new valve cover is on and torqued down. You will torque it down to 76 inch-pounds of torque for all the bolts on this valve cover. I just got this inch-pound torque wrench from Amazon. It was about 40 bucks and it's worked pretty well so far. Next up is removing the other valve cover, cleaning everything off and doing the exact same thing and then torquing everything to spec. Then we can put in the new spark plugs and the coil packs. I'm gonna take a break right now, so I'm just gonna put the new coil packs in this one just to plug the holes, and I'll come back a different day. All right, now that this side is done and looking good, we are gonna move over to this monstrosity and try to get this valve cover off. This might be a little difficult, mostly because this bracket back here does not move very much. So I'm definitely gonna have to try to finesse it out of here. Now I'm gonna clean this off. Just like the other side, we need to clean off all this gunk before we put on the new gasket. Then we can put the new valve cover on and then finally rebuild the whole thing. All right, now we finally have both valve covers on. The new Z1 coil packs are in. They're only in right now just to keep any dust or debris out from getting inside the valve. I will take them out and put new spark plugs in here. This is where I'm gonna stop today. I'm super happy with how far I've gotten with this project. I can't wait for the Z to get back up and running, and hopefully next week we will finish out this installation and get the Z running again. I'm sorry for not being able to post as much as I usually do every week. This has taken a lot of time and I wanna make sure I do it right and take my time. That's why I'm also filming it for you guys so that you have some idea of what to do in case this is also happening for you. Hopefully after next week, I will get back to my regular schedule. We will get videos uploaded every single week, especially since I'll be able to drive this car. I'm so hyped about it and I cannot wait. Make sure to come back next week for the final video of this installation where we get the Z started and running again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Comment down below if you've ever done this installation before and let me know how it worked out for you. I'll see you guys in the next one.